Hello, YouTubers. I'm usually not the guy to make a video review on something, but the reason I'm making this one today is because when I went to make this purchase, I couldn't find very much on this scope. Now, this is the UTG 8 to 32 by 56 mildot scope. It's actually a pretty awesome scope. I was skeptical about buying it at first because it had the specs of a $500 to $600 scope, but it only costed $280 on Amazon. I've got the accessory, the side wheel, which works perfect with it. It's just an awesome scope. It looks badass. It performs well. I'm gonna say right now, the only con that I have with it, is the location of your illumination buttons right here. I wish that they were on the side, they were offset, because sometimes when you're sitting low and you're shooting, and you're about right here, that's where you're looking. You want to change the zoom, but you can't. You have to step up a little bit to walk over to see where it's at. You see how that works? Yeah, another thing that I was worried about was, wait a second, there's no turret covers for this, so what if I bump it and spin it? And then after reading the directions, which I highly advise you do upon purchasing this, is these little rings right here, they spin. And then that allows you to twist, to adjust it. And if you tighten them up, you can't spin it. Here, let me let my dog in. Come on, Ginger. It comes with the covers for both sides. I only have it on this side. Just adds a little bit more, sun protection. You can see here there are these hex screws in there. If you can see that right there, and what that allows you to do, you may ask yourself, let me see. Yeah, right here you can see the numbers on the turrets. And what it allows you to do is you can loosen this up, adjust the turret to where you want it, put it on 0, and then tighten it back up. And it doesn't actually adjust the point of impact. It doesn't actually adjust the scope. It simply just turns this so you can turn it to 0. So that way, when you're in the field and you want to adjust for elevation, you can do so and not have to remember how many clicks you did. You can just turn it back to 0. It's really nice. There was a video that I saw on YouTube of this scope, and the mildot reticle was different. I don't know if UTG changed the mildot reticle, which is really thin. It's laser etched and it's really thin. Even zooming in 32x on a target, it's still really thin. Really precise. It came with a Picatinny scope mounts that I don't use, obviously, because this rifle has dovetail mounts. But it's really nice. It's I've noticed at 32x, if I don't have a whole lot of sunlight, it does get a tad, I'm gonna say, fuzzy, but I really don't even like using fuzzy because it's still very usable. Let's see if I can get in right here. I'm gonna try and zoom in. Let's see how this works. That is 8 power, 8 zoom, and that target is exactly 40 yards away. Notice the reticle, and you've got 5 mil dots with middle markings in between, and then actually you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you got 5, including the black lines that border outside of the crosshairs. This is at 8 power. We're gonna try and zoom in right here. Let's bring it out. Let's bring it to 20. We'll put it at about 20, and we'll take a look through it. That's 20. It's probably not It may look a little fuzzy due to the camera, or maybe I just don't have the parallax adjusted right. But that's 20. This camera does not like the scope, that's for sure. That's 20 right there. That's 40 yards. Now let's just bump her all the way down to 32. That's 32x, and that target is 40 yards away. You can see the group I shot right there earlier. The group I shot was at 50 yards actually. That's 32x at a target 40 yards away. Just so you have an idea. The scope, bottom line, it's a really good one. I mean, it just looks awesome. It looks awesome. It performs well. You can just get so much more precision out of it, you know. And you can spend a little less money on a quote unquote budget scope, you know, a 4x16 or a 3x9, and because that's usually what you use when you hunt, you know, you don't really go any more than 8 to 10 depending on what, in most cases. But it's so nice. I can't tell you how nice it is to have a scope that'll reach 32x zoom. You know, when you really want to get out real far and you want to be precise, especially on this air rifle, you want to get out there and get real far and get real precise. The scope allows you to do it, and it's only, I bought it on Amazon for $290. I think this extra scope wheel was an extra 10 or 15. I'm not really sure, but well worth it. Another thing, the markings on the scope, you know, it gives you markings 10 yards, 12 yards, 25, and it gives you the supposedly markings, you know, where it would focus at, and they're actually accurate, pretty damn accurate, you know. I find on my old scope the parallax setting would say it was, you know, 50 yards, but it was actually focused in at like 30, you know, it was way off. This is actually right on the money. If it says 35 yards, you know, if that's where I have it at, then the target's 35 yards away and it's perfectly zoomed in. I think that about wraps it up, guys. It's just a really good scope. I mean, I would definitely, I'll tell you what, I'll never buy a Hawk scope. I'll never spend an extra $200 on a scope. That's, in my opinion, not much better. Another thing I like about it is the adjustments are 1/8 inch at 100 yards, which means it's more precise adjustments. You know, you may have to turn the dials a little more to get, you know, obviously because it's, you know, more fine adjustments, but it's more precise as well. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys can make a better decision about your purchase. Y'all have a good one.